In this video, we're talking about the PNW Pipeline, the phenomenon of people moving from all over the PNW, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, to Southwest Washington. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Living in the Pacific Northwest with Hal Bird. I'm Hal Bird. I'm a licensed realtor in Oregon and Washington and certified in luxury homes and relocation specialist. So today we're talking about the pipeline of people moving from Portland specifically to Vancouver and the Vancouver area, all the way down south from Ashland to the Southwest Washington area, and people coming from the north in Tacoma and Seattle, that metro area, down to Southwest Washington. And what we're seeing from where we sit is, now I wouldn't call it an influx, but a significant portion of our clients and the people that we've been speaking to that are coming from Portland all the way down to Ashland, so we're talking about the California-Oregon border and really the Canadian border, all coming and landing in this sort of middle point in Southwest Washington. And today I want to talk about why. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to stay tuned. For those of you who don't know or you're new here, my husband and I created this channel to help people who were like us, people who were considering a move out of state. We came from California. My husband's originally from the East Coast. And we wanted to be that friend in the Northwest that we didn't have when we moved here. When we moved here, there were almost no useful YouTube videos about the area. So we kind of took a little bit of a leap of faith. There were just 2 videos on the internet about Vancouver that were at all helpful, and that is a little bit of a stretch because realtors weren't making content. And now I'm happy that we have this vast resource. I know a lot of you binge our channel. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment. It really helps get our content in front of more people that we can help and really grow our community. Because when you work with myself and the Bird's Eye group, you don't just get a home, you get a community. And you can see that from the videos that we've created about some of the client events that we're hosting to make sure that people feel welcome and have things to do and can go somewhere and feel like they know someone. Like, you can show up to our events and you know me and you know my husband and you know our team members. And then you get to meet other people that are from places like you. We have people who are childless that are into board games and they get together and play. We have people who just happen to sit next to each other at a paint and sip, and then they go out and get dinner together. And it's just, it feels so good to create that community. And that's something that, you know, we really strive to do, is to transcend the transaction. Like, yeah, it's nice that you buy a home, but that's not the last time that you're going to hear from us. That's not the last time you're going to hang out with us. We get really close on a home buying or home selling journey. And if you're in the area and, you know, you want something to do, like, we try to provide that for our clients on a month in and month out basis. So okay, without further ado, let's jump into this video. Now, I realize that people that are not from the Northwest may be watching, but today I'm going to talk a little bit to our Northwest neighbors. So one of the things that we're seeing is people who are from more southern parts of Oregon, and, you know, they love the idea of being in the Northwest. Same thing with the Seattleites. They love being in the Northwest. Many of them are not originally from the Northwest, but maybe came from other states. I have clients who came here by way of Kentucky. I have clients who came here by way of Virginia and Florida and New York, and they might not like where they live right now in the Northwest. There might be some issue going on with where they're at that makes them want to move and sort of look for greener pastures, but still within the Northwest. And I'll even say still within the Pacific Northwest, which, in order to qualify for the Pacific, your state has to touch the Pacific Ocean. Sorry, Idaho, in my opinion. It's hotly debated online. So obviously you don't want to leave because of all the features and the attributes that this beautiful area has for us. But if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're still wanting to move for whatever reason. And then we have people that are coming from Portland and that population that's moving. I mean, that's a big deal. Like, you see all these news articles about people wanting to leave Portland. It's a big thing. And a lot of them are heading up here, up north. I have a client, he's a 25-year-old bachelor, and he bought his first home. And he was like, you know how all of my smart friends, like all my friends who are older, who have their stuff together, they're all moving to Vancouver. So that was like a big indicator for me where I should be. And then we have people from Eastern Washington and Oregon, like Bend and the Tri-City area, Yakima, that are looking to move here either for more job opportunities or fire, like the heat, different climate, closer to an international airport, various reasons that my Eastern Oregon and Washington clients have told me that they want to live here. So in these states, you just have people that are wanting to just move regionally. That's a lot less of a change or a big jump than moving from Arizona to Southwest Washington, for instance. So all of those reasons are really the motivation. It's just, we look at our business, we see trends, and it's 20, almost 25% of our clients that are from Oregon and Washington and not really relocating from out of state necessarily, but are making a big move. I mean, they're moving several hours away, or even if you're going from Portland to Vancouver, that is a whole other state. And so we thought this video would be good. Like, why are people doing this? So the first reason that we're seeing people move and leave their areas is cost of living and housing affordability. That is a big motivation, especially for my clients that are up north in the Puget Sound area. They're getting close to retirement, a lot of them, and they've maybe owned their home for 10, 20. I have clients that are gonna be moving down here that have been in Bellevue for, shout out to you guys, for, I don't know, 35 years, something like that. And so their the have increased in equity substantially with the development that's happened around the Puget Sound area, with all of the jobs and the industry that's there. I mean, we're talking about significant equity in their home. And a lot of people will either downsize, find a home that's more suitable for retirement. A lot of people go from obviously 2-story homes to single-story homes, and they can cash out that equity and have a paid off house where instead of having a mortgage going into retirement. So that's one trend that I'm seeing quite a bit. I also see people that are on the opposite end of the spectrum for retiring. They are maybe earlier on in their careers, they're in their late 20s to 40s, and they are renting in Seattle area, and the rents just keep going up. They get more and more expensive. They can't really save the way they want to in order to get into home ownership, and the price barrier to buy a home in the Seattle area is significantly higher than here in Southwest Washington. And then when you add on food and utilities, we did a utility video here if you're curious what utilities are like for us, and we also took average bills wherever we could find them. So if you're looking for what some of the average utility bills are and our exact utility costs, you can watch that video here. And I don't want to give the impression that Southwest Washington is a low cost of living area. It is not. It is, I would say, like medium cost of living area. But what it allows people to do is stay in Washington, stay income tax free, be relatively close to a big city and an international airport. Those things check a lot of boxes for people as they're looking for an ideal area. And you know, we really have this like gem of Southwest Washington that we love so much and our clients love so much. And if you're thinking about moving here, I hope that you will love so much. The next reason that I'm hearing people wanting to leave certain areas has to do with crime. Now, crime has gone up nationwide, here included, so we're not immune to the ails and the challenges of the world today. But when Seattle's seen a 24% jump in homicides and a 30% spike in vehicle thefts, that is more significant than what the averages show. And I think a lot of it, as I was digging into this reason why people are leaving the Seattle area specifically, the theme that I got was really this like lack of a sense of safety. Like that feeling of being safe is something that's, I think, affects your everyday life. Like there might be crime going on around you, and if you don't notice it, you might feel safe, you might have a sense of safety, but then if it's in your face and you see it in the news and it happens to your neighbor, that sense of safety, I think, comes down quite a bit. So I think some of it is perceived, but obviously some of it is real, factual, statistical, right there in front of us for everybody to see. The third reason people are leaving Oregon to the south and coming north to Southwest Washington and leaving the Seattle, Puget Sound, Tacoma, Olympia, all of the I-5 corridor and Eastern Washington areas and coming here again to Southwest Washington is job related. Now that people can work remote or work more hybrid, I'm honestly surprised the amount of times I have conversations with my clients and I'm talking to them about their move and they're like, yeah, I'm hybrid. but my company has an office in Portland, or my company has an office in Seattle and I only have to go once a month or something like that. If you work for a company that has multiple offices and you're thinking about moving, but you're hybrid, so you're like, oh, I'm kind of stuck, maybe not. You might want to look into that. So yeah, the proliferance of remote work and hybrid work has allowed more people to live where they want to live, not just tethered to that central office space. The other job-related reason I see people moving has to do with promotions or, lateral moves in a company, more just, I guess, the trajectory of their career path. So I just had some clients who relocated from the Murrieta-Temecula area of California, where we used to live, to Happy Valley, Oregon, and his company was bringing him up here for a promotion and a regional role up here. And another client of mine relocated from Las Vegas to do the same thing, to take on a regional role that spans, sometimes it's just Oregon and Washington, sometimes it's Alaska, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. There are regional roles around here. So if you're in sales or you're in a company that requires regional travel, then you might want to look here if you're already thinking about coming up here. But it's not about the people from outside of the Northwest, not this video at least. The fourth reason we see a confluence of people here in Southwest Washington has to do with taxes. And it's kind of an interesting thing because the people from Oregon are looking to get away, they're looking to be less tax burdened, and the people in Washington are looking to remain less tax burdened. And we live in an area that is the southernmost part of Washington state that does not have income tax. So this is the farthest south you can go in Washington and keep no income tax. Actually, on the West Coast, this is the most southern place you can be and still not have state income tax. And so that's a big motivating factor. My clients from Texas and Florida and other parts of Washington all say the same thing. They're like, we don't want to go back to paying state income tax, or I've never paid state income tax. I don't want to start now. And so that consideration makes Southwest Washington a very obvious landing place for people coming from Oregon and people coming from other parts of Washington. And the other thing is our proximity to Oregon, where there's no state income tax, allows Washington residents who choose to go over the bridge or bridges and shop in Oregon and not pay sales tax. A little bit of a hack. Even I have clients in Tumwater, and when they have a large purchase to make, like they had redone their floors and they have a Floor & Decor up in their area, but they drove down here to the Portland Floor & Decor so that they could purchase it tax-free. So you even have people from Seattle, Tacoma area drive down here. It's, depending on where you're coming from, it's a 2 or 3 hour drive when they're looking to do back to school shopping or make big purchases. So you can take advantage of it, but you can also just shop locally. We have plenty of amenities and shopping and resources for you that people who don't want to go into Portland or go into Oregon really don't have to, except for the airport and maybe like big concerts. But even then, we have RV Style in Ridgefield. And so if you want to stay out of Oregon, you can, but if you want to take advantage, you can too. It's the best of both worlds. The fifth reason that I'm seeing people flock here has to do with social issues. So I've had clients cite homelessness as an issue when it comes to coming from some of the bigger cities. Again, we're not free of homelessness here, and not every resident in the Vancouver area is housed, but I would say that it's less prominent than some of the big cities. It is what it is. It's a suburban place. I mean, suburbs tend to have less resources for people who are unhoused and therefore attract less. I don't know. That's my take on it. I could be wrong. I'm not a sociologist. I have a business degree and I know a lot about relocation and real estate, and I'm going to leave it at that. Very touchy subject, very difficult to talk about, but I think if you've been a longtime subscriber, we don't shy away from talking about difficult topics here. You can take with that what you will. Homelessness has been cited as a reason for people living places like Portland and Seattle, and specifically coming to the Vancouver area. So homelessness being one social issue, and then I would say like the political climate and the social climate being another reason people are leaving. And I'm seeing this across the board, but with people moving from different areas, people more than ever, I'm surprised at how many people, when they reach out to me, reference politics, or I'll say broadly the social climate, as a reason for moving. I think that in today's world, maybe because of remote work, it's more prevalent than ever, but it's something that I I hear so much, and it never ceases to surprise me. So those are some social issue reasons why people are moving. It might not be the number one reason, but it might be like a second tier issue. Like, we have a job opportunity and we don't like what's going on in our particular area. And then the last reason, I believe this is number 6, is lifestyle. I've heard quite a few of my clients say that they have the desire for a less crowded lifestyle, less traffic, something a little bit more slower paced, but still have access to a major airport within 30 minutes. And I mean, you can live suburban in Southwest Washington and even rural and still be within 30 minutes to the airport. So it gives you a lot of that less stress, less anxiety that people are looking for that comes from being in a high density area and going somewhere that's a little bit more medium density, just more suburban, more calm, very family friendly. I mean, kids all over the world grow up in cities, but at least the clients that I'm speaking to, the people that I'm speaking to are saying, we want something that's a little bit less city-like to raise our children. It's a preference. And for me, I would say that my favorite thing about Southwest Washington, Vancouver area is that you have access to the city without having to live in it. So a lot of the issues that people comment on my videos or that I hear people talk about when it comes to Portland, just outside of real estate, just anecdotally in conversation or whatever, I'm like, yeah, there's issues in Portland, but as someone who lives in Southwest Washington and accesses Portland for events and restaurants, I'm selling houses, so I'm going to a lot of these different cities, like different parts of Portland and also the suburbs of Portland. I just like having access to it without having to live in it. It's like this thing, and actually my clients talked about it in this video. When you go into Portland and you come back over the bridge, it's like this light feeling, I guess. You just you feel less on edge. I don't know how to explain it because I don't feel it instantly going into Portland, but maybe after being there and just being around more people and seeing different things, then when we come back to Southwest Washington, it's like, okay, it's a breath of fresh air. I don't have to use all my, city smarts anymore. I can just chill and not have to be wondering who's yelling over there or something. So in conclusion, those are the 6 reasons that I'm seeing people move. It's the cost of living and housing affordability, crime, job-related moves, taxes, social issues, and 10 minutes lifestyle. Those are the 6 reasons that I'm seeing people move. So if you're looking to make that move on this PNW pipeline from as far south as Ashland all the way up to Blaine and Bellingham, and you are looking to join the confluence of people that are finding Southwest Washington as this sweet spot and this gem of an area, I would be happy to help you on your move. My Zoom link is in the description below. Even if you're just considering it and you're like, I need to talk this out with someone, that's what my Zoom link is there for. You can schedule with me directly. You can always shoot me a text if you need to know anything about living in the Pacific Northwest. My phone number is 360-818-4438. All my contact info is in the description below. You can call me, text me, email, Instagram message. Make sure you follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes fun stuff. I share a lot of stuff over there that never makes it to YouTube. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna go run off. I'm actually headed down to Tualatin to sign off on a new construction. And if you're thinking about new construction, I would highly recommend using an agent. Here's one reason why. I have several videos on new construction. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about this video, what video topics you want. I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.